to work on the shell a bit. What I'm going to try and do is define it more so I can get stuff on it. I can get so I can get thin set on it. So I just need to define it more, a little deeper, a little more rounded, maybe. Maybe. I found that doing Instagram like this seems to work if I tilt this. There you go. So I'm gonna move this table out of the way. There's really no reason for it to be there. There's no reason for it to be there. It shouldn't be there. I'd be philosophical about moving the table. There's no reason for it. Whoops. I'll just set it over here for right now. I also, I'm going to do thin set for this. But then this area down here, hang on. So it'll be skim coated with thin set, both sides. But I'm debating what I do down there. Now down there, it's possible that what I'm going to do is plywood or Bondo, and that's so when I put the two halves together, I have some way to bolt it together. I thought about using like a long hinge, but it had to be a long hinge that like it could only open so far. The shell I want to be seen in the round. So the back side is just as important as the front side. So I don't want anything unsightly. Now, when it goes together, it could go together in such a way that maybe I just foam it and sand it and put a little paint on it. I don't know. But I'm trying to think of like a more stable way to move it. Like if I'm going to move it, it should be movable either as a closed shell or two halves. The two halves seem much easier to move if it, you know. As far as like thin set goes on it, I'm thinking each half will weigh. It's not that heavy at this point. Maybe it's 10 or 15 pounds right now. 50. Each half would be 50, so it'd be a 100-pound piece, which I could move, but it'd be easier if it was less. So when I work on stuff, I also figure stuff out. And I'll figure stuff out that has to do with what I'm working on, as well as personal stuff. So it really depends on what I'm doing. You know, like I've said this, like art's important to me. It is a, you know, it is a catharsis. So that is why I knew so many people in college, like you said, they'd say like, they'd tell me they wanted to go into art therapy. Like, oh, okay. I'm not saying it's a bad thing or anything. I had a friend that did that, like got an art degree, and then got a psychology degree, which that makes a lot of sense. When my friend had a traumatic brain injury, and when he was in the hospital, they had to make art. They had to make art. He was making art. It was amazing because, man, half of his skull was missing at the time. They were trying to relieve pressure. So missing half his skull, right? He was having trouble communicating, but then he's like, making art. It's like he was making art, and they told him to make something, and he didn't listen to them. Like they said, like, make a mountain scene. He made an ocean scene, you know? A typical artist. He's better now. See, I want to define the shell more, because when I put the thin set on, it's hard to say, you know, I just think it's going to lose some of the details. So I want these a little bit deeper. I just want everything. I should cut these. Let me see if I can slit these with a mat knife. I got one. Hang on. It's like, I don't know. Let's think about something. It's all bullshit anyway. This foam that I use to like fill with, it's sandable, but it's more sandable the longer you leave it. So the longer you leave it, sort of the more yellow it gets, the more sandable it is. At a day, it's not really hard enough, but I'll try anyway. Most of these that I'm cutting off are Phil's interior, so I don't want any empty space in it. It's not that important, because I also will fill it with thin set. Now, as far as thin set goes, that's a product they keep talking about, and it's a product that I have. So I use thin set on the mushroom, and it worked out to be a real good product. Now, one of the things I like about the thin set, especially with this, it's a clamshell. So, you know, it's concrete-like or something. And with thin set, I can take it and I can probably use a spray bottle, misting it, and smooth it out real good. So that'd be before I polychrome it, which that I'm looking forward to. Now, when I polychrome it, it's not a situation where I know what kind of paint I'm going to use. I've thought about it, and I've looked at these shells, and I might try using stains first, like a combination of paint and stain. Some of them have like a real nice kind of brown, and it just sort of like bleeds out. So I might try using a light stain on it. I have a tendency to do that, to mix paint, like a water base with an oil, because I don't give a shit, pretty much. It's like, whatever, you know, and I think I got in a habit of doing that kind of stuff years ago when I didn't have any money or whatever, and I'd have to like use food coloring and Elmer's glue for pigment. I remember being in the Catskills, working at the Shakespeare Conservatory. I did a lot of that because it was the only thing that was handy, and to go into town was like a hassle. So you know, it wasn't right by town, so I had to sort of wait. Let's say it was 9 o'clock at night. I wanted to work on a painting, but I didn't have pigment. I would use Elmer's glue and food coloring. But I also use food coloring in paint. Now the thing about food coloring is that it'll run. So you have to put a polymer in it or it'll run. It does become stable as a, you know, if you mix it into house paint, it'll become stable. That's water-based house paint. It won't, you can't tint a oil-based paint with it. Now this, what I'm doing right now, this really works the arm out. I wish there was a mechanical way to do it, but there's just not. There's just not a mechanical way to do it. If I go into it with the palm sander, I lose definition, and I'm trying to gain definition. So I'm just doing it by hand. Now, sometimes when I'm doing something like this, I think, oh, it'd be great to, you know, have an intern or something. It's for a split second, and then I'm like, no. If you want it done right, do it yourself. And besides, this is why I make stuff. It's like I don't want to deal with anything like that. And I can always, you know, I mean, that's why I make stuff. You know, I don't want to organize. I have to organize an installation. I don't want to. I don't like when I had the pet care business in Brooklyn, it was a fucking nightmare. It was. It was a nightmare, man. People wouldn't show up. You know, you can't really count on people. You gotta sort of count on yourself. People are so screwed up, I swear to God. Some people are just so fucked up. The internet has caused like this rampant like mental illness thing. I swear to God, that's what it seems like. Because it's like it encourages like rotten behavior. Like you could go around fucking saying shit about whoever, and there's really no repercussions for the person saying it. You know? Hang on. Where'd my phone go? There it is. It's doing this again. I got to shut this down and reopen it, I think. If it does it one more time, I got to reopen it. I'll just close it down for a bit. I don't know, maybe you guys can see me, I don't know. But it does, it seems like it creates like a shield for the person who does it. Like, you know, whatever excuse they want to use too. It's like I had no other way to send you this message, so I do it on your fucking social media bullshit. My email is the easiest to find in the world. My God. People are just fucking full of shit. The thing about people is a lot of people don't want to change. They're like, they're happy. They're happy with their behavior. And even if you would call some people on their behavior, they like it. Because they're, you know, it's like they're getting noticed or something. Like, I don't know. They're screwed up. Now let's say this is going to turn out real nice. I wish I had one of these shells handy. I used to have one, but like to look for it right now would be like one of those situations where it takes all day to find it. It's not really worth it because I can look at a picture and sort of get an idea of like what it looks like. Look, yeah, it is going to look good. Very, very happy with that turning out. And the other thing that I find real weird is that people that do that, they want to make somebody feel bad. Like there's this sadisticness to it. And I know that people like that exist, certainly. But it's like, giving somebody like that is sadistic the ability to act out, and to them they get positive reinforcement. It's real fucked up. That's bad enough, man. I got emails when my mom died saying I'm glad she's dead and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is the matter with you? You know, hope you get cancer too. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, she didn't die of cancer, so you're wrong there. It's weird, like, What's the person get out of that? Like, just saying mean shit. I've known people like that. I knew a dog trainer in Brooklyn. Well, he ended up hanging himself, stabbing himself. He wanted to die. It was miserable, you know. But he'd troll, and this thing was fucking hysterical. You know, giggling to himself. There was a dude that he went to Exeter. I said dude that had real high IQ, right? So that kind of behavior, it has nothing to do with IQ. It has to do with like personality or mental illness or both. But it's like they don't know like what is wrong from what is right. It's like they're too clouded. It's just too clouded. Well, it's easier working out here than yesterday. Yesterday was much hotter. I was doing this at Caine. I'm writing poetry again. I flip in and out of it throughout my life. I have quite a bit. I might do a reading someplace, I don't know. I mean, I can go up on stage, so it's not a big deal. Go do a reading. My poems are short. I'm not sure why YouTube keeps doing this. YouTube, is this cutting out? Did that just cut out? Somebody tell me. Could you still see me? Somebody tell me, or else I'm shutting it down. I'm gonna restart it. I don't know. Nobody's answering. Nobody will answer. So it's been 23 minutes. I'm gonna shut it down.